Welcome, my name is Tasha and this is StarMade. In today's episode, I want to start off with a bit of explanation about our universal trading ship we've been building all this time. Because there were some questions about, for example, where all the people would stay that would, for example, visit the shopping area on this ship. It isn't really my intentions to have lots of people permanently on this ship. Crew will be on this ship during the journey, but I mainly see this as a traveling shopping district. So you go to a sector, then the people come in through the big hangar bay we have in this ship. They go to the commercial district and then they do their shopping. So we've got lots of space for that, I think. As you can see here, lots of landing pads and lots of areas to drop shuttles. So yeah, I think this is more a temporary visit you have to this commercial district we're building than having it as a permanent part of the ship for only the people that are on the ship. So that's basically the intention behind it. There's one other thing I wanted to show as well before we actually start with building the part I want to build today in this episode. But we have to go out of the core for a second. Let's grab some gravity. During, in between episodes basically, I've been working on some other areas that were basically done already. For example, this bridge here is done, but I have some ideas to add some additional details and perhaps change some things, but nothing has changed here yet. But I did change the entrance to the bridge because this door wasn't here before. I created this sort of airlock system with let's see if this works here. Yeah, with this scanning beam here in the middle that scans you if you try to open this door, so that's why it's activated by this button. And this is a lot more clear that you're entering a secure area, I think, than it was before. Because before I had these two turrets and this open area where you could go through. That wasn't really working for me. So these are small things I'm changing on existing levels that I've already built. Same, for example, for here. This is the area where the teleporter ends up. I had these small computer consoles on the sides here, but I changed those for those blue machine-like structures. Made it a bit more mechanical, in my opinion. Instead of having this podium with just a couple of computers on them. So yeah, like I said, small changes, but I'll continue doing that when I get some more ideas. But the main area I want to work on is above here. So let me jump to that and we'll get on with that. The area I mainly want to focus on this episode is this frontal part of the ship that's still empty. This connects to the hallways over here, to the, for example, swimming pool area over here that we built last episode. But the only part I have here is the lower hallway in this area, and I mapped out the rooms in the lower floor. This central bigger area at the front will be the main focus of this part of the ship. And one of the proposals I made last episode was to add a movie theater of some sort in this area, and I think it's really an area that lends itself for something like that. But after thinking about it, I wanted to do a bit more with this area than just a movie theater. I'm not saying I'm not going to do a movie theater, but it's going to be slightly different. After some experimenting, I created a layout for the upper floor as well, because this is going to intersect with this large area here at the front of the ship. And this might make it a bit more clear what I want to do with this area, because not exactly if it's clear, but these light gray blocks over here indicate that there's going to be a set of stairs here that lead to the lower floor. And over here I'm going to have a balcony type of construction that overlooks this bigger area. And what I want to do is make a conference center, a small conference center that can also be used as a movie theater or a regular theater or something like that. But basically it serves multiple purposes. And a conference center is something that is in line with the commercial the commercial side of the ship itself, I think, because you can, of course, start a small conference for a particular product or a particular product line that you want to promote, and then invite a lot of people. They come here and then they listen to you and some other people, and try to convince them that the product you're selling is any good. So on this end, we're having a big podium with a big screen at the far wall. So that's basically the main focus of this area, and that can also be used as a movie screen if needed. On the upper floor, I'm going to add some smaller presentation rooms, I think, for different lectures they can give, and then tying everything up with the detailing, of course. But first thing I want to do is basically put in all the floors and the walls, because now I have the layouts basically done for both floors. But yeah, spaces like this here, probably not going to detail just yet, because I'm not sure what I want to go with for these areas. These, for example, as well. I had some ideas for a laundromat or something like that in this area, but that's just ideas I'm taking notes of. Nothing is permanent yet. So this is my concept for the big central podium and the big screen at the far wall of this area. So if you press this button over here, then the wall opens up and then the lights come on, and then you have this big white screen that you can project your movie or some presentation on. So yeah, it's a combination of a stage and a movie screen, so you can use it for multiple purposes. This is a nice feature as well. I've got these benches over here you can have your public sit on, but when you press this button, they also retract into the floor, and then you have this this whole floor for other purposes that you can use that for. So yeah, multiple functions, like I said, multiple things you can do in this area. I thought this was a nice spot to stop and talk a bit about detailing and connecting rooms and hallways together, because I ran in a bit of a problem or challenge, whatever you want to call it, in connecting the upper hallway of the upper floor and the lower hallway of the lower floor. If you look closely, you see that, for example, this lower door, basically the outer wall of this is flush with the wall of the area itself. But if you go up, that's not the case. This is the wall of the room itself, and that's flush with this shape over here, but not flush with the outer wall of the door. But you only see it if you really pay attention. And I achieved this basically by using the same type of shapes around the door. I've did that here with the basically the pillars here, and then creating the shape over here. And over here I just did it by creating the shape in the wall itself. So this way it looks like the doors are connecting in the same way to this area, but they're actually not. So yeah, it's a nice trick to keep in mind if you are just one block off when connecting different areas together. And this provides a nice bit of detail to the walls as well, I think. So I'm going to create a bit more detail, a bit more color in here, and that should liven the place up quite nicely, I think. So basically the walls are in for the main area. I changed the screen doors to be flush with the wall as well. So that's all sorted out now. Added some additional details and added railings to the top balconies, and started mapping out the areas for the smaller conference rooms. And I also added this well, stair design I got in a couple of places on my ship. I'm really happy I made this stair design back then, because yeah, it really turned out quite useful for a number of areas I built. Yeah, I had a bit of trouble with figuring out the layout for this upper walkway, because I still wanted, of course, it's connected to the upper door over there. But this layout turned out quite nice, I think. Worked out well for me, because I have plenty of space here for my stairs as well. So next part is adding these smaller conference rooms and then starting up the detailing and lighting for this area. This is quite a dramatic change, I think. With all the details in place and all the lighting and colors added, this really livens up the place quite a lot. So I did some additional detailing for the walls. I put in the hang-on lights over there and some rigging over there for the stage lights. And as you can see here, I've put a small lectern here that, well, presumably controls the screen as well of what you want to show. And I put in these big light pillars or mood lightning pillars to the sides of the stage. So I would imagine that you could change the color of this light to set the mood for a specific presentation. Quite similar to how these big screen TVs with the mood lighting do it as well. On this side of the area, I put in some small benches with some greenery, and I put this vending machine. You can buy water over there. It's well, only water. The rest is out of stock. But I quite like this design. I might use it on other places in the ship as well. So this area above is now done as well, with all the smaller lecture halls. I've got 3 different colors: the red one, the blue one, with the blue one and the green one next to it have a small supply closet as well, with all the colors for the chairs matching the color of the room itself. On this end, I decided to add a bathroom, because why not? It's basically a change to have something different there, and I'm adding bathrooms all the time now, so yeah, why not? I think this makes this area quite done as far as detailing go. I might have some ideas in the future, but yeah, for now I think this is complete. As far as the rest of the area surrounding this conference room center, but the hallways and all the smaller rooms are in place, and I decided to add some of my crew quarters over here, but they're not detailed. And on the lower area over here, well, this leads to the empty spaces as well. So these are not detailed yet. Still have to think of some purposes for these areas. But for now, I think that's more than enough. What I want to do now is take a look at the other side of the ship. Because if we go outside the ship, this is the front area. Then in the middle we had this commercial area, but all the way in the back we have an empty space as well over here. So these areas need filling in as well. And I'm probably going to do it in a similar way as I did the front area, just mapping out a layout and then putting in the walls, and then worry about the detailing a bit more. And the central hallway will be a key part of that, because that's going to need to connect to this part of the ship, to the elevator, and, well, in the lower level to the library here as well. So this is an important intersection. I'm probably going to use the similar hallways as I did over here with this design, but with a different layout. I started playing with the hallway pieces I have templates for, and this happened. This created a very nice area, central plaza area for me, that connects to this hallway over here to the rest of the ship here on the commercial side, and on this side to a small hallway connecting to the elevator and this level. So I've got this well, space in the middle with pillars on both sides I can do something interesting with, and I think I know what I want to do here. If you were guessing giant chessboard, then you were correct, because why not? Every ship needs a giant chessboard on board. Well, yeah, I remember playing giant chess near hotel pools quite often years ago, but I immediately thought about adding something like that in the middle of here, because it's such a nice pillared space. But we have to add some more walls and some more detailing to liven up this a bit. And we have to think about how to fill in this space around the central area over here and what it's going to be. Well, I got some idea, because I already marked out this room over here that connects to this control room for the engine startup room over there. But the rest over here, I'm thinking office space, because we need offices as well on this ship. And here we go, all nice and detailed and laid up. And we've got our chess pieces here in the middle. Well, just paint cans, but what can you do? And I decided to add this central door over here on this end, with a very prominent white wall and glass door in it. And this will lead to the office area I'm going to build here. I already started marking out this area as well, but the exact layout of this office area I'm not sure about yet. I'll get to that later. It's not going to be in this episode. But this area is quite done, I think. Like I said, connects to the rest of the ship, but it also connects over here to the library I built many episodes ago. So that's worked out quite nicely for me, even with lining up for the elevator over here. The only thing I have to think of is probably add a door over here, I think, for this area, because this is empty as well. And then add something else over there. But I quite like how this central area turned out, because it's a place you travel through, but it also serves a purpose of, in this case, playing chess, or perhaps checkers. Giant chess then. But yeah, it adds additional value to an additional life to your ship. I think that's about it for this episode, however. I'm starting to run out of time for this one. So if you have any other suggestions or questions, I'll try to answer them in the next episode. And I'll see you next time.